Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog, so let's get to it. I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all.
All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It was like you could hear it all throughout the store.
This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, do I look a little different in this camera? It's because I have it on cinematic mode. I thought this was interesting and thought I would try to shoot the video in this mode today. I think it blurs everything in the background and it makes me look very focused. So it makes me look a little clearer. So maybe we'll do it this time. I'm not sure if the focus in the background is going to stay blurry or if it's going to start to move and change, you know, depending on if I move and stuff, because I see the frame. You guys can't see it, but the frame is kind of jumping around. So, but we're going to leave it on it this time, just this time, to see how it goes. And then maybe we might keep it, you guys. First story up. Actually, this story is really, really sad. I think everybody was saddened to hear about Malcolm Jamal Warner this week, earlier this week, as he was on a family vacation in Costa Rica. They said that he was swimming in a village in the province of Limon called Cahuita at Playa Grande. I'm sure I'm not saying that right. It's Cahuita at Playa Grande. And like I said, it's a province in Limon, which is in Costa Rica. He was swimming with his daughter. And I'm assuming his wife stayed behind. But him and his daughter was taking a swim in the afternoon. And they said around 2 o'clock, the police got a call that there were some swimmers that were in distress there. When the police got there, there were some doctors actually that just happened to be there at the location that was working on trying to just keep him, just trying to get him to breathe. You know, they were administering CPR. And then when the paramedics got there, then that's when they worked on him. I think they said 30 more minutes, and then they pronounced him dead there. But apparently they said that Malcolm Jamal Warner and his daughter, his 8-year-old daughter, they had gone out for a swim, and there was another gentleman there. I'm still not clear if they were all together or not, but I know that Malcolm and his daughter were together. They were all swimming. There was a rip current. They said that the water was really, really rough. There was some rip current that got him and pulled him. I guess it pulled all of them under. However, there were some people there that just happened to see that was able to get the daughter. A surfer was there that got the daughter and put her on a surfboard and pushed her, close enough to shore where she was able to get back onto land. And then, they tried to get Malcolm and the other man. They said that had there been lifeguards on duty there that day, then it would have been a 100% different outcome. It's just that they didn't have any lifeguards on duty because the water was so rough that most of the surfers that do surf in that area, in that channel or bay or whatever you call it, that area where they were swimming, because the water was so rough, the surfers decided not to surf there that day, and they had went to a different location. So the lifeguards were all at the location where the surfers were. There were a few scattered ones in this location, but nothing like they normally did. So like I said, the lifeguards weren't there, and that is the reason why they didn't have anybody on hand there to help, if something like this unfortunately would arise. But they said that they were able to pull the other man out, and they did get CPR on him. I think Malcolm's body, it ended up washing ashore or washing up closer, I believe is what I read, where they were able to get him, and they were trying to get him to breathe, and they weren't able to get him to breathe. The other gentleman is in critical condition, they said, in the hospital. The daughter is fine. They said that, you know, maybe she didn't bring in any water. Maybe they were able to get to her quickly. But the daughter is fine, you know, physically fine. Of course, she's lost her father. The story was just so sad, you guys. And I was just so shocked. Yeah, I told you guys before that I went to Paul Revere Junior High with Malcolm Jamal Warner. I mean, I wasn't really friends with him. I mean, I knew him as a classmate like anybody else did, but we weren't particularly like close friends or anything. And this was during the height of, like, when the Cosby Show first started, and it was like a super huge hit. So he went to Revere, but then he was in and out. Like, we were together in the 7th grade, but then in the 8th grade, he was pretty much in and out. And then in 9th grade, we really didn't even see him much until it was time to graduate. But, you know, just sad, you guys. You didn't ever hear any bad stories or mean stories or horrible stories about Malcolm Jamal Warner. He's always seemed like he was just a gentle giant, like a cool guy. He's always been really soft-spoken, always. I mean, you know, we just saw him. We saw him in, of course, The Cosby Show as Theo. We saw him on Read Between the Lines. We saw him on Malcolm and Eddie, the show that he had with Eddie Griffin. We've seen him, you know, as guest actors and things like that. But just, like I said, you've never heard anything bad about Malcolm Jamal Warner. All the people that had so many great things to say about him, you know, you could just hear the general sadness of the whole acting community. Even Tracy Ellis Ross had a lot of nice words to say and kind words. But yeah, just sad, you guys, because, you know, we expect people to get older and, you know, just the natural way life goes. And then when you hear about somebody dying at 54 and then in such a tragic way, and him being with his daughter, you guys know that he was really a private person. He kept his life pretty private. We didn't know much about him other than, you know, what he wanted us to see when he was acting. We know he was in a relationship with Regina King for a long time. I believe they actually were engaged, and then their relationship ended pretty suddenly. That was the only, that's probably the only like blip I can remember. That's probably like, oh, I forgot I needed to stay in frame. Is it making me dark though? I am kind of in a dark area. Let's see, maybe if I roll down the window. If I roll down the window though, the air is not gonna be, it's kind of dark. I can't get away from that train, can I? It is kind of dark. Well, maybe I won't do it for the second part of this video. But anyway, where was I? When him and Regina King broke up, that was the only time that we had kind of heard any kind of, you know, when we had heard anything about Malcolm Jamal Warner's life, really. But other than that, we had never heard much about it. He wanted to keep his daughter and his wife very private. So even though we knew that he was married and had a child, you know, we didn't know much about him. Actually, I couldn't even find their names. I probably could, but I didn't search long, because if that's the way that they wanted to keep it, then that's the way I'm going to keep it, you know, trying to make sure that their names are not splashed all over social media. But yeah, like I said, the celebrities everybody had so many great things to say. You know, we just don't expect our 54-year-old, you know, people that we've known and enjoyed and loved on our TV screens for so many years. We just don't expect something like this to happen. And again, so tragically, just terrible. I was interested in some of my classmates. I'm not on Facebook, but I really was interested in what some of my classmates had to say about it. Because, you know, we went on from Revere, most of us went on to Palisades, so that, you know, I'm sure that they all probably had something to say about it. But yeah, you guys, just cannot believe it. They said when they told Bill Cosby, I have a feeling that Bill Cosby probably might be going through some dementia. I think that they mentioned that before, that he might be suffering from some dementia. But they said that they did tell Bill Cosby, and they said that they never gave like exactly what he said. That's why I'm saying that I think that he might have some dementia issues, because they had a representative that just said that he reacted the same way that he reacted when he found out about Ennis. Okay, so they didn't give a direct reaction, but that's what they're saying. But anyway, life is short, you guys. Life is short. Make sure you tell the people that you love them. And all of those silly fights and arguments and misunderstandings and unsaid things and things that maybe said too much, that caused problems between you and, you know, your family members, your friends or whatever, get it handled. Because you know what? That person might go on vacation and drown, and you'll never be able to say those words again. So, very, very sad, you guys. He's survived by his wife and his daughter. He was 54 years old. Rest in peace to Malcolm Jamal Warner. Okay, you guys, on this next story, I noticed that when I have my Bluetooth in, my AirPod in, that sometimes there's some lag. So there might be some lag on the sound on that first story. That's why I took my Bluetooth out. So hopefully now I'm going to check after I do this segment. I'm going to check again, and hopefully there's no lag. Okay. It's dark, but I think that's just because where I parked. But if there is, hopefully there's no lag. I can get through these stories. Again, I won't have it on cinematic on the second video. I just wanted to see what it, you know, if it came out. I mean, I like the way it looks, but I don't want it to be having no lag and the sound to be off and everything. But anyway, you guys, next story up, we got another rest in peace to Black Sabbath lead singer and frontman, legendary heavy metal band member, lead singer, Ozzy Osbourne. Mama named him John Michael Osbourne. I was like, boy, I looked at Ozzy Osbourne all these years, and that man ain't never looked like a John nothing. But I forgot that we actually did know what his name was, because I think Sharon, did she call him Ozzy? I think she does call him Ozzy, but I think I remember Sharon calling him by his real name before anyway. Anyway, you guys, we found out that Ozzy Osbourne has died after a long battle with Parkinson's disease. We knew that he had Parkinson's disease. We saw that when his family was on their reality show. Like, they are like reality show OGs. You guys remember the Osbournes had their show that they brought to MTV back in the early 90s, when reality shows, you know, wasn't that many. We had The Real World. It was reality shows basically was on MTV. The Real World, and Cribs, and you know, the one that they fix My Ride or whatever it's called. And then the Osbournes had their show. And this is when we grew to love the Osbournes. Like, I didn't know the Osbournes. I knew of Ozzy Osbourne up here. Hold on one second. This is Joe calling. I'll let him. Oh, I didn't mean to decline the call. Let me try to call him back. Call phone. The phone. I denied the phone call. Let me see if I can get him back. Joe doesn't answer his phone, so he always got the shit on Do Not Disturb, so it might not answer. Let's see. Damn it. Let's see if he calls back. I knew Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne because I went to Palisades High School, like I just told you guys, and everybody, you know, all of the white kids back in the 80s loved Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, I can't tell you countless times I've seen t-shirts and buttons and backpacks and bags and all kind of things, you know, with Black Sabbath just splashed all over it. But yes, we found out that he had died. Honestly, I did not realize that Ozzy Osbourne was actually still even alive, you guys. But I did realize until recently, I'll say, because they had a festival recently, just a couple of weeks ago. They had a festival, Ozzy Ozfest, that they usually have. I think they called it Back to the Beginning. Okay, and it was like all of these heavy metal and all these rock bands like came and gave like tribute to Ozzy Osbourne, and, you know, played their music and also played their own music, but you know, it was like a tributary type of concert. Anyway, right after that concert, there were rumors out that Ozzy Osbourne had died, but Kelly had come out, his daughter, Kelly had come out and said that those rumors were not true and that he was still alive. However, 2 weeks later, now they are saying that he did die, you know, after his bout with Parkinson's. So we found out in 2020 that he had Parkinson's disease. I feel like even before that, we saw that the effects of Parkinson's disease, either he hadn't been diagnosed or they just had not told us. But when we was watching him, even on Osbourne's, on the Osbourne, Meet the Osbournes, you could tell like he even was shaky back then. Of course, it hadn't advanced the way that it had gotten towards the end, but you could tell even back then that he had the starts of Parkinson's for sure. And a lot of times, I think back then we just thought because he had so much heavy drug use in his past, drug and alcohol use in his past, that you know, that those were the effects. That Parkinson's, maybe it could have even been brought on. I don't know if I'm not a doctor. I'm not a real rock star doctor. So the real rock star doctors, the real ones, you guys can let us know. Is Parkinson's, is that something that can be brought on by alcohol or drugs, or is that a hereditary, like a genetic type of disease? But anyway, yeah, he heavy drug and alcohol use in the past. We know the stories of Ozzy Osbourne, you know, him biting the head off of a bat, you know, when he was performing. I think they said when he was in Des Moines, Iowa at a concert, he bit the head off of a bat and spit it out in the crowd, you know, had to get rabies shot and everything. But what I did not know is he had also actually done that before at the actual record label studio, the offices. He went in there with a fucking live dove, you guys, and bit the head off of the damn live dove in the fucking offices. Okay, yeah, Ozzy was off the chain. Okay, Ozzy off the chain Osbourne. But anyway, they said that Ozzy Osbourne was very hard to control. He was pretty much out of control. Even when he was in the group, they actually fired him out of Black Sabbath because they couldn't even really handle him. They couldn't control him. But he was definitely the front man, the live person. Everybody knew who he was. And everybody gravitated towards him. And Sharon knew that. Sharon was actually the daughter of his manager, who was even more of a spitfire than Sharon, they say. They say that he was like the man, and he was a whole lot. I guess you would have to be a whole lot to be able to deal with Ozzy Osbourne and all the shit that he was doing. But his daughter was Sharon, and Sharon and Ozzy took to each other, and they ended up getting together. They would have a really, tough relationship, breaking up, getting back together. Apparently, Ozzy Osbourne had even been arrested for attempted murder of Sharon. But they said, fuck, love wins. I said, I guess so, shit. Okay? Because they would break up and get back together. I might have to draw the line at you trying to take my life. Okay, but no. I guess Sharon knew the real Ozzy, or should I say she knew the real John Michael. And they made it back together, and she loves him, he loves her. They say that their marriage and their relationship is wild and crazy, but it worked for them for all those years. They had 3 kids together. He was actually married before. What was the wife's name? The wife before Thelma Riley. So he was married to Thelma Riley, and then after that, had 3 kids with her, then had 3 more kids with Sharon Osbourne. So he had Kelly, Amy, and Jack with Sharon. He had Louis and Jessica Osbourne, and then Elliot Kingsley is also his child, but it was an adopted child. Okay, I actually saw the picture. I was looking at the picture. I had Googled. Joe was texting me back. I had Googled a picture. I had Googled the kids because I just wanted to see his older kids. I wasn't familiar with them. And the Elliot Kingsley boy was black. And before I realized that he had adopted somebody, I was like, was Ozzy out there dabbling? Because this boy is very clearly, he's black for sure. Okay? But yes, he actually was adopted in his first marriage. So those are the people that he leaves behind, you guys. But scores and scores and scores. Oh, this is... Hello? Okay, I was doing a video. That's why I wanted you to call me back while I was doing the video.
Yeah, did you see the video I sent you?
Yeah, I did see it. Yeah, that's good. I'll put it in this video.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and tell everybody else again, thank you very much.
Okay, say it again so they can hear you.
Tell them I said thank you very much, man. It's actually an unbelievable amount of packages in here.
Yes.
So I just want to say thank you, and I know the kids appreciate it. I'll make sure the kids, I'm going to post a thank you video also on my page. For those who follow me, they'll be able to see it on there as well. But I definitely greatly appreciate it. I've never seen this many boxes in one room before in my life, so that's love. I appreciate it.
All right. All righty. All right, I'll talk to you later. All right, bye. Yeah, I'll get back to Ozzy in a second, but you guys sent so many things for Joe. I'm sure there were other people too, but I know that the Roxstars showed up and showed out. I'm sure that most of you guys bought. I'm sure that most of the things that he got, I should say, were because of the Roxstars. And we greatly appreciate it. It's hard for me to ask you guys to do things for me, but it wasn't actually that hard for me to ask for you guys to do something for Joe. You guys are familiar with Joe. He's been on the channel plenty of times, and you guys support him as well. And you know, he's been a 4th grade special ed teacher, but he was a co-teacher. This time he has his own class. He's by himself. He's going to be in a 5th grade class, a regular, I shouldn't say regular, but he's not going to be in special ed any longer. So he's going to be just regular for the, you know, sake of the video, sake of the lack of words, but a regular 5th grade class. And so he's got to be able to stock his class and decorate his class. I was hoping to go there and help him, but they are not letting, you know, for safety reasons, they're not letting nobody go in there and help decorate and all of that. So he said he's going to send a picture when it's all set up, and he's going to send a video with the kids, and I'll show you guys that video. But at the end of this video, I'll put in his video. Actually, after the end of this segment, I'll put in what he sent me, thanking you guys for this, probably on his Instagram as well. But like I was saying, getting back to what I was saying about Ozzy Osbourne, the amount of fans that Ozzy Osbourne had is immense. Okay, the heavy metal genre, like, he is like one of the godfathers of that genre, and highly respected. So a lot of people are probably heartbroken by Ozzy Osbourne's death. Even if you weren't a fan of the heavy metal, you may have become a fan of the family. And if you have, then you probably are saddened to hear this as well. But you know what? His music, his shows, I mean, his work, his art is going to be here forever and ever. So you'll be able to enjoy him, even though you won't be able to enjoy him. Okay? But yes, rest in peace. 76 years old, rest in peace to Ozzy Osbourne.
I cannot even begin to tell y'all how grateful I am for y'all folks, bro. Like, first of all, y'all never even, like, Amazon just said, forget it, take the whole bag. You feel me? Like, y'all bought so much stuff. Like, I had to refill the list in, like, the first 20 minutes. It was completely gone. Like, I know y'all never even seen this. Like, what? All these packages. I appreciate y'all, man. Like, this is crazy. I appreciate all the support, y'all, for real. And once I set it up and all that type of stuff, I'll be sure to show y'all. And I'll make sure that my class also says thank you too, man. I appreciate y'all.
You guys, I hate to do videos that's all on death, but I mean, you know, start videos out like this, but let's just put this together. We also have another rest in peace to Robbie Pardlo, okay, from the R&B group City High. He died. We found out that he died last week. Actually, we found out maybe that day that I did Top of the Blogs last week. No, maybe it was a few days before that we had found out, and I just forgot to put it in the last one. But you guys remember City High? City High was the group that Wyclef Jean had. He produced the group. I believe that they were on his label. You guys remember they were the ones that sang the song, "What would you do if your thing's at home and your dad comes at home and you're hungry and you feel something about it." You guys know the song. He was in that group with Claudette Ortiz and what was the other guy's name? Ryan. What was this guy's name? Ryan Totb. Remember, they were 3 in the group, right? Remember, Claudette actually went on. She was on R&B Divas. But anyway, they only had that one album. Actually, their one album was nominated for a Grammy. They didn't end up winning, but this was in 2002. They were nominated for a Grammy. And then in 2003, the group broke up. And they never got back together. But the group had gone through a lot of things behind the scenes. Apparently, Claudette and Pardlo, they were dated back when they were in high school. Remember, she told us that they were an item back in high school. And then when they all went to high school together, then they had that group together. But then after the high school and her and Pardlo broke up, she ended up marrying Ryan Totb, which was the other group member. Okay. And so we know how things go and we know how relationships go and everything. And, you know, it probably was a whole lot of drama. I mean, you got 3 members of a group and all of them are involved with each other. So it's a love triangle on top of it. So you can imagine it being drama there. They ended up breaking up the group. She ended up marrying Ryan Totb. I don't know if I almost feel like her and Ryan Totb aren't married anymore. I don't remember her story on R&B Divas, but I kind of feel like maybe they aren't together any longer. I don't remember. Let me not say that. But we did find out then that Pardlo had a hard time accepting their relationship, and they said that he was struggling like with alcohol addiction back then. Claudette always said that the alcohol addiction was not because of the relationship and the fact that she married the guy, Ryan, and all of that. She's saying that the alcoholism is a separate issue. But I think that Robbie would always say that, you know, I mean, people would say that Robbie's alcoholism was also contributing, you know, the fact that that relationship really bothered him. That also contributed to his alcohol and fueled his alcoholism and all of that. They haven't said how he died, but I am almost wondering, because he was so young, I think they said he was 46 years old, that he was so young that, you know, it wasn't like he's been diagnosed with a disease. At least they hadn't said anything about a disease. So I'm wondering if it had something to do with the alcoholism as well. Yeah, you guys, also very sad. 46 years old. I mean, that's young. So you would imagine that his kids are probably young as well. He is survived by his 2 kids and his wife, Anika. Okay. Like I said, 46 years old. Rest in peace to Robbie Pardlo. Okay, you guys, next story up. This story is about old Kelly Clarkson, my girl. You guys, I remember Kelly Clarkson used to get on my nerves so bad, and I was just like, why did she get on my nerves? Because, you guys, it came to the point where I actually watch her every morning. Well, I used to watch her every morning when I was working from home every morning, but now I just watch her on Mondays and Fridays when I'm working from home, which is probably going to end soon because our damn director's, his last day is today. Child, he retiring today, and I think he is the only reason that we have not had to go in that office 5 days a week. I feel like as soon as he's gone, they're gonna make us come in there 5 days a week, y'all. And when then you really gonna get a cantankerous and very unhappy Roxanne on these videos, you guys. Because if I gotta go in that office 5 days a week, oh my God, I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it. Oh my God, but it'll only be for, you know, a few months. But I'm real worried about retirement, you guys. But anyway, that's another story for another day. I'm here to talk about Kelly. So you guys, I watch Kelly Clarkson every mornings that I'm home working, and I love her show. Okay, I think she works hard. I think she has an incredible voice. My retainers are in. I think that, you know, she does a good job interviewing. She's actually come a long way that I've watched her. But I've noticed that there's been some issues on the show. You know, there was a week or a couple of weeks where she did not come in and they weren't really explaining why, just all of a sudden out the blue. And this was really right after the season had started. Out of the blue, Kelly just was not coming to work, okay, for 2 weeks. And we was just like, what the fuck is going on? I'm sure there was something going on, but they weren't letting the viewers know. So I was just like, oh, and then they started showing like on Entertainment Tonight and all this, saying like the show, Kelly is starting to get tired of being on the show. And I was like, oh no, really? But you know, it is grueling. A daytime talk show. You got to be there at the crack of dawn. You know, I knew her show had just recently been moved. I think they used to film in LA and they moved all the way to New York, you know. So this is all very different. And then all of a sudden, for 2 weeks, she wasn't coming in. So yeah, there's rumors that she wants to end the show when her contract ends at the end of next year, or the end of next season. So that's one thing. But also, you guys know Kelly had a residency that she was supposed to be starting on 4th of July. I think it was supposed to go through August 16th out in Vegas. 4th of July, you guys, I saw on the news and people was mad at Miss Kelly because 90 minutes before her show was about to start, Kelly told them that, you know, the rehearsals had wrecked her voice, and because of that, she was not going to be able to start on her opening show that 90 minutes later, okay? Now, you know, people already then flew in that was coming to see her. People done already bought their tickets. People done already bought their hotel rooms and rented their damn cars and everything. And now you 90 minutes before showtime, you telling me your voice got fucked up at the rehearsal. Yeah, I'm sorry about your voice, but what about all this damn money I just spent coming to see you? They said that Kelly did not say anything about, you know, later dates. You know, they just said that they were going to start later. But they did not say that they were going to honor those tickets that, you know, from those people or anything. So people were kind of still in limbo, not really knowing what was going on. Like, are they going to be able to still see Kelly? And, you know, they just spent all this money on these hotels. And, you know, like I know these hotels be like, oh, well, that ain't on us. Okay, no, we didn't tell Kelly to do that, you know, so you just be out of money. So, yeah, a little bit of a bitter pill to have to swallow, right? But they also said that Kelly is going through something. I just feel like she's going through some things. They did say that 2 week run when she did not go into the show, come to find out that her ex-husband is ill. Okay. And they said that she had taken off because she wanted to take her kids to see her ex-husband. Now, I just told you guys that she moved to New York. So I'm assuming that she moved her family. They live in New York now. I know that in that divorce, that was a really horrible divorce, real messy divorce, that husband got like all of the property and shit in Montana. Okay. And that's where they were. So I'm assuming that that's where he still is. So she probably had to go to Montana to take the kids to see the husband. Now, if you at a point where we got a divorce, you got a whole bunch of money out of me and I don't really see it for you, but then all of a sudden you sick and you sick enough that I got to bring the kids to you, that tells me that must mean that her ex-husband is pretty seriously sick, because they didn't seem like they were on pretty good terms when they broke up. So if it's serious enough where she got to actually swallow her, you know, all of her ill feelings towards him and be the bigger person and take her kids to see their dad, you know, then that ex-husband probably is more ill than they're letting us know. So that might be something she's dealing with. Maybe this move to New York. Also, maybe she is tired of doing that daytime talk show. They said that she's about to go back to The Voice. And I saw this morning on the news that they said that for The Voice, she only has to be working a few months out of the year. And for her daytime talk show, well, you guys know daytime talk show is every day. Well, it's Monday through Friday, but it's every week. And maybe you get a couple of vacations, a couple of weeks here and there, but that shit is probably very demanding. So I know she's going back to The Voice. She probably is going to let that contract run out. You know, she probably tired of running, pulling her, you know, spreading herself too thin. Maybe she felt like her kids need to be closer to their dad. If the dad is sick, if it's health issues and all this shit, you know, all that stuff might be going around. Y'all just give Kelly a little break, okay? Give Kelly a little wiggle room, okay? Going through some things. That's my girl. I like Kelly. Okay, and I love her, you know. So I hope that everything works out for her. But yeah, that might be what's going on, just in case y'all was wondering. I gave y'all quite a bit of white people news today, huh? I did my part. Hopefully Kelly get to feeling better soon. You guys can go and enjoy her at her residency. She'll be there until August 16th unless they add some more dates. And then she will be back for the holiday season. I think they said starting November 7th. Okay. All right. All right, you guys, that is that. I'm going to get on off of here. Okay, we do this every single week, so make sure you thumbs up the video, comment, subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, rock stars.